Arlette from Chasing Joy, and I'm back with another weekly baby making update. So I call these baby making updates because at some point I had hoped there would be a baby that would be growing inside, and I would change from doing these TTC videos to like pregnancy videos. But as you guys saw from the last video, that I am not pregnant. My beta was negative after my second embryo transfer from IVF. I did a fresh embryo transfer that was negative, and then I did a frozen embryo transfer that was also negative. And that's, I think, the last video that you guys saw. So I have really had a hard time since the last negative result. Today, I believe, is cycle day cycle day 5 for me. So it's been a full week now since I found out that I was definitely not pregnant, even though I kind of was suspecting that I wasn't pregnant before the beta because of all the negative home pregnancy tests. But you know, you always have hope that maybe you just have like a late implant and or a low HCG producing embryo, but neither of those was the case. It was another unsuccessful attempt, and I just really had a hard time this time. I feel like I usually bounce back a little quicker from these negatives, but this time has just been hard, and I think some of it might be the timing. So my beta was actually one day before the 1-year anniversary of when my mom passed. And I don't know, I think a lot of you, if you've been watching my channel for a while, remember when that happened. My mom passed away. Like, I was actually in the middle of a 2-week wait after an IUI. So I guess it's just a hard time with that day, and then to get the negative beta right before. And I had really been hoping that I would have a positive beta, and at least that would give me something to celebrate on that day, but that was not the plan. So I just really have had a hard time with these last results. So this last try officially makes 12 attempts to get pregnant in 2 years. My embryo transfer was on the exact 2-year anniversary of my first IUI. So 2 years of trying, 12 actual attempts. I did 9 IUI cycles. One of those was a back-to-back IUI for a total of 10 IUIs. And then I had to lose weight, so I lost weight to get ready for IVF. I have had cysts a couple of times and wasn't able to get started. Finally had the IVF, and the first one failed, and now the second one failed. So 12 times I've tried to get pregnant, and I'm still not pregnant. So just feeling really discouraged, and I really was starting to think for the first time actually in this whole process, was thinking if I should give up. Like, should I stop trying to get pregnant this way? And when I first... Sorry guys, my cat has decided to start chewing on the tripod. So I'm gonna just grab her. I hope maybe she'll cooperate. Say hi. This is Buttercup. This is the kitten. She got so big. So she's my baby right now. But anyway, this is like the first time I really started to think about, should I just give up? Is this not God's plan for me? Is this not what I'm supposed to do? Because when I first started this, this is not my plan A. My plan A was that I would get married and have children the traditional way, and it didn't work out like that. I'm getting older, so this was my plan B. And I prayed a lot about it beforehand, and my mom getting sick with cancer kind of spurred me on a little bit, realizing that life is short. And I wanted to try to pursue what I wanted. I always wanted to be a mom and to go for it. And I'd been very prayerful the whole time. And I had prayed, if this was not God's plan, would he not, for him to like stop it? And now it's like 2 years later and 12 cycles, still not pregnant. I was really starting to think about if maybe this really wasn't God's plan for me. So, been praying a lot, and even before the beta, because I realized it didn't work because there was so many negative home tests, and my beta was actually 13 days after my embryo transfer, and I'd never heard of anyone taking that long. That's basically like 18 days post IUI. Post ovulation, and most people already have a positive. So even before the beta, and then after the definite no, I was really just feeling discouraged and really trying to think if this was really God's plan. So I prayed a lot about it, and went to church, and the sermon was actually about how God has these big plans. How big God is compared to us and his understanding of things. And so I've always prayed that God would like help me to understand his plans so that I can be in alignment. And anyway, so I went walking after work because weather's nice here. And while I was walking, I just felt I don't know how to say it. Like, I felt like God joined me on the walk. Like, I felt his presence, and I just started to pray, and I was praying about, should I give up on this? And then I just remembered me as a kid and how much I always wanted to be a mom, and how I would have my dolls, and how I still have my dolls in my basement now. But like, I really treated them like babies. My mom would let me buy clothes for them at the thrift store, like real baby clothes, and I just have always had this maternal instinct. And even when I graduated college, and I went to Temple University, and I graduated with honors and a really strong academic background and a business degree. And when I was thinking of where I wanted to work, I went to work for the government because I wanted to have work-life balance, because I was already thinking about this family that I was going to have and how I wanted to still make a good living, but I wanted to have time for my kids. And I imagined myself, going to their events at school. Like, I never thought of myself as not having a child. And so I was remembering that. And then I was remembering how when I was a teenager, my brother was in college. He had this anatomy and physiology book, and I would read this book, and I was like in 7th and 8th grade reading this college textbook all about anatomy, and I would always read the chapters on pregnancy, and I would imagine how that might feel and what goes on in a woman's body. And I would imagine myself one day being pregnant, and it just never was part of the plan that I would not be a mom, and that I wouldn't have my own baby, and like experience being pregnant. And I'm having all these thoughts while I'm walking for exercise outside and by myself, and I start praying. And I also realized that throughout this whole process, I have been prayerful from the beginning through now. I have not made any decisions without praying about it. And I prayed for a husband and traditional family in as well. And I still pray for that. I don't think I'm not going to be married. And basically all that to say is ultimately I decided I'm not giving up, even though this is the first time I kind of seriously considered it. I feel like this is still God's plan, and that it's just not yet, that maybe there are other things I still need to do to be prepare. Maybe I still need to save more money. I'm still paying back my IVF loan. Maybe I need to make more of a dent in that. Maybe I need to save up more of my leave at work so I can take a longer maternity leave. I don't know his plan, but I just know I felt his presence on that walk, and I had all these memories of something I've always wanted. And I don't believe that my desire for children is from anything negative. I think God placed that desire in me. And even my interest in being pregnant, I think God placed all that in me. And I don't think he put it there for nothing or to be torturous. So I'm just going to stay the course and keep trying. I'm not going to give up, though I am honestly feeling pretty discouraged at this point. But I'm also remembering how lucky I've been in this process. And even though I have not yet had a successful pregnancy, everything that I've tried to do so far has pretty much lined up well. And things that I have prayed for have specifically been answered. For example, I specifically prayed for 14 follicles, and I had 14 follicles when they retested me in the summer. I continued to pray for 14, and they actually got 14 eggs at the IVF. And me doing the IVF was pretty uneventful. My recovery from the egg retrieval was a little rougher than I expected, but I didn't get OHSS, or basically where you get too much fluid from your ovaries. I didn't have any complications. All my embryos look good. I did not opt for the genetic testing because for my age, it's not necessarily a recommendation right away, and it costs a lot more money. But all the embryos came out looking good. I have had basically consistent support throughout the process from my mom initially, and then from friends. And you guys saw I had my cousin. One cousin went with me to retrieval. Another cousin has come with me to the embryo transfers. I got my loan easily. I have not had any major mix-ups with the clinic. Like, everything has been pretty uneventful and smooth sailing. And the things that I've prayed for have fallen into place. So I realized I just need to stay positive and look at it in the big picture. And even though it is discouraging, I still have 3 embryos left. And I don't think it would be right for me to have prayed for a successful IVF and have prayed for these embryos and then to have them and to not try. And for the fact that I also got approved for the 6 IVF risk, I can't even think of what it's called, shared risk program. The fact that I actually applied for that and got accepted after I lost weight. And they have like a little committee that decides, which means that this group of doctors look at all my information and they feel confident that they can help me become pregnant. Why else would they risk all that money, have to give it back to me? So all these things have fallen into place. And while I do feel discouraged, honestly, and I'm still disappointed, and it's really only been a few days. It's been about a week since the official no. I am not going to give up. I'm going to keep trying. I still have embryos. I still have IVF attempts, even though I'm praying I don't need additional IVF attempts, but it's available to me. God has given me these resources. He's put this desire in my heart, and he's made all this stuff available to me. So now is not the time for me to doubt it. I'm a Christian, and I know people have all kind of opinions about IVF and single women getting pregnant, but I don't believe I'm doing anything wrong. I'm not sinning. And like I said, all these things have aligned well for me. But I do think that the devil will try to get in your head when you're so close to having your blessing come through to try to knock you off course. And I think that is what had been happening with this disappointment. So I am not going to give up. Even though this is the first time I truly considered it, I am going to stay the course. And so this video is already longer than I planned, but so the next video is going to be what my plans are going to be for my next attempt. Like I said, I still have 3 more embryos. And what the doctor feels about this try, and we'll go from there. But anyway, just being real with you guys, this is a hard journey, and I watched some of you guys' videos and they helped me to feel encouraged to keep trying. I know some of you have been trying longer than me, and I appreciate your stories and can't wait for you guys to be pregnant, as well as myself to be pregnant. But I'm not giving up. I'm going to stay the course, and I appreciate you all for watching, especially if you watched to the end. If you watched to the end, let me know in the comments so I can especially thank you for your support and encouragement and baby dust and prayers. I really appreciate you guys praying for me. I mean, I know the videos are delayed, but God knows the prayers, and hears our prayers, and will apply them properly. And it lets you guys be part of my journey and me of yours when we get to pray for each other. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. And come back next week to see what my next steps are going to be. Bye.